Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nania Yasmin, and for this week's video I wanted to start a conversation around the topic hustle culture. I know many of us are affected by this or aware of this mentality, especially in American and Western societies, and now that I have personally just moved back to the States, I'm looking to get into a new career. I have been reminded of this cycle, so that's really what inspired today's video. So we'll just go ahead and jump right in. I will go ahead and define this term in case any of you are unfamiliar with what it means. I have some notes on my phone, so I'm just going to read straight off of that. And basically it means constantly overworking, putting work above everything else. This lifestyle teaches people that overworking is the only way to earn respect, whether it be from others or themselves. Before we get too deep into the video, I do have some disclaimers. I don't want this video to come off as if I am trying to escape hustle culture or really even complain about it. Again, this is more so just to start a conversation and I maybe even raise awareness for people that feel this but are not able to identify exactly what it is. So my purpose of this video is more so to give kind of insight on how to live amongst this culture and still be able to make decisions that are fulfilling for yourself or more fit for yourself while still being a participant of this culture. Just because it is so prevalent, I don't think we'll be able to just get rid of it, but there are ways to get more out of life while this is still present. So I hope that makes sense. I don't want anything I say to be taken out of context. So again, I think this is something, if not all, most of us have been affected by, and more often than not it is a negative effect. I think life in general just has a lot of pressures that it comes with, so we often naturally just have huge broad goals that we set for ourselves, whether it's financially or education wise, career wise, or even personal. We want to make our friends and family proud, ourselves proud. We always feel like we need to be working or accomplishing something. And now within the last 10 years, we also have social media, which adds an extra layer of pressure, because now we are, whether it's conscious or unconsciously, comparing ourselves to other people's lives. They're not realistic because on these social media platforms, we're seeing edited versions of people's lives, and we are only really seeing the best parts of people's lives. More often than not, we're not seeing the whole 360. And so just speaking from a personal aspect, I remember the very first time I felt this pressure of hustle culture and always feeling like I needed to work, and that was when I was 21 years old and I had graduated from undergrad. I received my bachelor's degree in biology, and that was not a walk in the park for me. I worked really hard to get my degree. As we all know, college is 4 years, and thankfully I was able to graduate in those 4 years. But I remember as soon as I was getting ready to graduate, and even when I graduated, that victory was so short-lived. I remember literally being bombarded with questions about what I was going to do next or what I wanted to do in general. And again, little old me was like, I've been focusing on this for the last 4 years. I haven't had the time or space to think about anything else to be able to answer those kind of questions. So for me, I was really overwhelmed and kind of let down that, like, okay, I've done something that I thought was very, I was very proud of, and then it was automatically like, okay, on to the next. You got to keep going, And personally, I think since that moment, most of the decisions I made after that were rooted in trying to get as far away as I could from that feeling. I wanted to get away from that cycle, and it is one of the leading factors that led into me dropping everything and moving to Taiwan. I've mentioned in just about every video about Taiwan, one of the biggest pros of living there was the lifestyle I was afforded. For me, coming from America and being able to teach English there, you know, I definitely didn't go there for the money or the salary. I wasn't making a ton of money, but compared to the cost of living in Taiwan, I was able to bring home extra funds at the end of the month, and honestly, that was just a huge weight lifted off of me. I now had that time and space I needed to explore myself as an individual and just explore the world around me and see what I was interested in, what direction I wanted my life to go. So while I was living there, I would literally just do things for fun. The goals that I set weren't for an outcome. I wasn't looking for any recognition. I literally was just doing them because I wanted to, and that was a good enough reason for me to do that. So I took some sewing classes, I took Chinese classes to try and learn the language, and honestly, that's where my YouTube came into play as well. I just wanted to get into this. I really didn't have huge goals. I didn't set, you know, a certain amount of subscribers I wanted in a certain amount of time. I literally just wanted to get behind the camera and talk, and that's what I did. So of course today I am older and a lot more wiser, and now that I am back living in the States, I am looking to, you know, re-enter the workforce and figure things out in terms of a career, instead of, you know, focusing so much energy towards dwelling on the fact that hustle culture even exists or it's even a thing that we have to live with. Instead, I've kind of, you know, switched perspectives or changed perspectives and try to make decisions or set intentions that fulfill me or fit the lifestyle that I am looking to live, and I don't feel guilty when those decisions don't align with that hustle culture or mentality. So there is a way to coexist or live amongst this culture. And so I was listening to a podcast from a young lady by the name of Alex Wolf. She has amazing work. She talks about tech philosophy. I will leave a link down below to that specific podcast if you guys are interested in her work or listening to that for yourselves. But she defines setting goals two separate ways, and so she explained the difference between reaching a goal and living in a goal. And I will actually just go ahead and read the definition that she gave on my phone. So she defined reaching a goal as temporary, misleading, and isolating, versus living a goal requires no output, no explanation, no expertise. You can start right away. And as I was listening to that podcast, it was like a light bulb went off. I was immediately able to, you know, change my perspective and switch gears moving forward as I set goals for myself. So just to quickly give an example of reaching a goal versus living in a goal, going back to the 4 years I spent in college, you know, just to at the very end be able to get my degree, which is what you see behind me. That feeling of acknowledgement or recognition was pretty temporary, especially again compared to the process it took to get to that point. It definitely could kind of be isolating at times as well, because of course I did have the support of my family and friends, but the outcome of that goal was solely dependent on the work that I put in. And you know, I have my own personal reasons why I feel like that process it was kind of misleading as well. Versus living a goal, I would say, is like my YouTube channel, for example. This was something I simply started out, you know, doing because I wanted to. I had some interest in it. I had been watching YouTube for years. I finally mustered up the courage to start my own, and that was enough for me to get started. I didn't come on this platform, you know, wanting a certain amount of subscribers in a certain amount of time. I didn't want all of that pressure that came with it. I simply am doing it out of, you know, the enjoyment of it. And I know family and friends, again, their intentions were good, but when I did start this channel, almost immediately people were trying to give me advice and ways to capitalize off of my channel, or they would ask questions like, why did you start a YouTube channel? what are you gonna do with your YouTube channel? Again, they wanted me to have a reason behind this. There had to be some kind of goal or output that I was trying to achieve. That was what would make sense for me to start something like this, instead of just, again, me doing this because I enjoyed it. Of course, there's a lot of opportunities and possibilities that come out of creating a YouTube channel that I'm open to, but I still just enjoy the process and where I am today. So Alex also stated in this podcast that, you know, reaching a goal is more so for like society and status quo, whereas when you are living in a goal, it is simply just for a human experience. So that's really what I wanted to leave you guys with today. When you are making decisions or setting goals for yourself, maybe take a step back and really try to determine the intentions behind your goals. Although our society is really focused on output and they don't really allow you to think that you are not allowed to contribute, which I do understand, and in some aspects you of course do have to contribute in order to get the things that you need to survive, but you are also allowed to just embrace your existence. And you know, a lot of people, myself included, spend a lot of time questioning and trying to figure out our purpose here on earth or in this life. And, you know, maybe again, sometimes we focus so much energy on trying to figure that out that we don't realize existing or being here is enough. You know, that is the miracle, and your purpose may be just to sit back and smell the roses, as some people like to say. And I know for me personally, as I'm on my journey setting goals and making decisions for myself, I've been realizing that the decisions that, you know, are rooted in creativity and allow me to express myself and, you know, don't really put me into a box that makes sense to everyone else, that version of me has been able to bring the best opportunities to me, versus when I'm working my hardest, you know, trying to get through things. I oftentimes take advantage of, again, just this process in itself. So I hope that makes sense. I don't want this video to be too long, and it's already getting a little lengthy. So let me know what you guys think down below. How do you cope with this or live with this? How has it affected you? Definitely, I recommend checking out the podcast that I spoke on down below. I will leave a link for you guys, and I hope to have some conversation. Maybe it will inspire another video. So I will leave it here for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you always for the support, and I will see you guys next time.